Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Today, I have the treat of interviewing one of our other teachers that is just one of my favorites. So I'm very, very excited to have her here. A couple of reminders. We have our first convocation next Friday. So please sign up. The sign up will be going out on Monday. So we would love to have you involved in this. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So I'm very excited. We also have our Bring a Friend Week. So if you are coming to lessons this next week, please bring a friend. Show off what you have been working on. Feel good to just music is meant to be shared. So it's a way to share with your family and friends. So they're invited. Also, we have a makeup week that is going to be I think it's February 17th. And so because there was snow and stuff, we like to put that in there. And I'm glad I put it back in this year because we had some snow. So reminder that that is not an official lesson week. And so if you need to do a makeup, that would be the perfect time. All right, without further ado, I'm going to get started on this interview. So I'm going to ask some questions, and then Jennifer, one of our cello teachers, who I just like her so much. I'm going to ask some questions about her. So I'm going to put the camera on her.
Okay.
There she is.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody.
So Jennifer, really quick, do you tell me a little bit about your background? Tell me about your
Yes.
music upbringing.
So my music upbringing, I started playing cello when I was 12, which is slightly older than some people start. And I started in middle school, and I had a really wonderful orchestra program and wonderful private instruction that really just helped me to feel capable and inspired as a musician. So I really owe them a lot. My orchestra conductor, my private cello teacher. So growing up in middle school, being a kid is hard, and music is such a powerful place to gain reprieve and to find yourself and your strengths and your voice. And that was something that was really helpful to me. So kind of experiencing the benefits of music, especially music education, music private lessons. I've decided to further study music's mental health impacts, thus leading me to pursue a music therapy degree. I went to Elizabethtown College in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, where I received my bachelor's in music therapy. And then I completed my music therapy internship in Cleveland, Ohio, at a music school called the Music Settlement. And they have music education as well as music therapy. And I got to work with a really wide range of clients and students and people. And I really just got to see how music, in and of itself, is so beneficial. It's beneficial mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, cognitively. It can just help organize a person and what they need. So that sort of led me to my path as a music therapist and a music educator. Um, and I have not regretted an instant of it. I think music is the most beneficial thing there is in the world. I mean, medicine is great and very important, but music is medicine. I
It
think
is
that.
medicine, of course.
Mhm.
So in this population, was it just students or was it were they on the spectrum? I mean, was it a wide array of types of people?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. I was very lucky. I worked with students on the spectrum, students with other physical cognitive differences. I also worked with some people in an inpatient psychiatric facility. I worked with adults, older adults, people suffering and working through and striving to beat addiction and various other difficulties that can hit us at any point in our lives. So I worked with a wide range of people, and it really they taught me so much.
And
So
I'm sorry, I'm just very intrigued by this. So was it like one-on-one
it was
appointments?
multiple settings. It was private, individual, sort of adaptive music lessons for individuals on the spectrum. I had one client who was a very adept percussionist, and we started every single therapy session with drumming to the song Cleveland Rocks. I don't know if any of you have heard that song, but it rocks.
Yeah.
And we lived in Cleveland, so it suited us very well. But anyway, so we've done individual sessions. There were group sessions at the hospital. And again, I got a wide variety of people and types of sessions that I got to lead. So I
That's
loved it.
really cool and meaningful work. I like that.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the state of music therapy. So, and how you use it in your current job, since that's not exactly what your job is, and then how you use it in your lessons here at the school.
Yes. So music therapy is a relatively young field. It started in the 1970s. It primarily started with veterans and people with PTSD, and it gradually sort of grew as more research, which is really important for the field of music therapy. Research grew around how music really helps organize the brain, the body, emotionally. So it's a relatively new profession, but right now you see it in a lot of places. You can find a music therapist at your hospital, at a school, at a community center, at nursing homes, at a music education school. Ta-da! So it really can touch all kinds of people. And if anyone is interested in learning more about it,
I'll give them your information.
I'd be happy to email or chat or anything.
Yeah,
It's
we've
amazing.
talked about it before about different fields you can go to in music and stuff. So, talk about your current job
Yes.
in working here at the school.
Yes. So outside of teaching cello lessons at the school, I work in the activities department of a senior living facility nearby. And I use the music therapy in how I present music activities, the types of music activities I present, really taking into account the individuals that I work with and their needs, again, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. And it also helps me to be creative in how I can address different needs via music. Music therapy training can help you to specifically figure out what to do musically and how you can help people. And as a teacher here at the school, I think that helps me to really inspire my students in the ways that music can heal you. Not only are we really striving for artistic excellence through music here at the Raleigh School of Music, but artistic excellence is also expressive excellence. And I think my music therapy background, hopefully my students agree. Hopefully it helps my students just know what music can give back to you rather than, the practice and the hard work, which is important too. But how can music help you to be more whole as a person?
Yeah.
Things like that.
I love that. I love that. So we have a master class that's coming up. So we call it Convocation.
Yes.
It's bi-weekly. So we started it next Friday, and then we go every other Friday through the end of the school year. We have talked a little bit, you and I, about feedback, and that's a big part of this convocation, getting people out there to perform and then getting feedback from others. Can you talk a little bit about giving feedback and how necessary that is, and the ways that would be helpful when we give feedback to people?
Yes. So giving feedback is just a way to illuminate some things that as musicians, singers, cello players, trumpet, any kind of act that you're doing, it helps illuminate things that you may not be realizing. As we know, those of you in lessons, when you are playing or singing or even listening, you're so focused on what's happening in the moment, and your brain is working so hard that you may not realize there are things that you can do to improve. Or another great form of feedback are things that are going well, that you're just so focused on getting better every time that it can be really nice to have someone point out, hey, your tone is really beautiful, or hey, your rhythm is really, really accurate. But feedback in and of itself is necessary. It's so important as a musician. Music is meant to be shared. I agree with that. And feedback just helps give you more information about what you can do as a musician to improve.
Okay, this is kind of going off topic a little bit. So basically, my question is to you: when somebody gives a piece of feedback that's tough to hear, what should a person who is hearing the feedback, what should they do with that?
Yes. So I think when you hear feedback that is either tough to hear or even sometimes feedback that you don't agree with, I would allow yourself to sit with it, identify how it's making you feel, naming kind of the emotion behind it, allowing yourself to be okay with maybe not enjoying the feedback, but then take some time and look back and think, okay, what can I do to address this person's comment? Or, okay, what's something in my practice that maybe can address that specific need that I can move forward and just take it in stride. But it
So
can be hard.
basically, just throwing it away if it doesn't is not helpful.
No, I think every form of feedback can be helpful. The only time it's not always helpful is if it's not specific. If someone
Oh,
says to you, that was really good, you might think, yeah, I know, I'm great, which is beautiful. But what was good?
yeah,
How was it good?
yeah.
How can you repeat what was good? How can you take that home with you and practice in the good form rather than maybe taking something bad and saying, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm gonna, keep my bolt hold exactly the same. I know what I'm talking about. So it's taking it in stride, but definitely considering it rather than throwing it away,
Mm.
even though throwing it away can feel easier sometimes.
Oh, so you say don't, okay. You don't think, okay. So do you think maybe getting clarity on it, getting like clarifying, like, what the feedback was about, or like if it came across in
Yes.
a certain way?
I think switching from receiving feedback to giving
Oh,
feedback,
yes.
that is also such an art, is giving feedback that's specific and helpful, but giving it in a way that is encouraging rather than tearing somebody down. That is not something that we would ever want at the Raleigh School of Music. And sometimes giving feedback takes practice too. Maybe we attend something and we think, okay, I'm going to give this feedback and it's going to be really helpful. But maybe we presented it in a way that wasn't clear, wasn't specific, or maybe was a little harsher than you meant. So there's practice on both ends of giving feedback and receiving feedback.
Yeah.
So I think just going in with an open mind and thinking, okay, I'm going to present something musically that I've worked on. And this is an emotional thing. Music is emotional. It's your hard work, it's your time. It takes a lot of guts to present music, whether it's at a master
Yeah.
class or just a concert or in your living room to your family. So honoring that and your effort, but also being open to other opinions, other forms of what they hear that you may not be hearing. So
Mm.
it can be difficult, but it's so important and it really, really helps so much as a musician. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, giving and receiving feedback.
I love that. So what do you think is the most important thing about performing? You've said you agree with that music is meant to be shared. Yeah, what's the most important thing you think?
I think the most important thing about performing, this might sound like a cop-out answer, but it differs kind of per person. But to me, I think the most important thing about performing is honoring your practice and honoring the effort that you've put into something and sharing it and giving it the spotlight, the attention, the adoration, from your fans, from your crowd, that it deserves. So
Yeah.
honoring your practice and your time and your talent. So
So the same vein, what is something to keep in mind? What is something important about being an audience member?
yes. So being an audience member, I would again say, of course, all of the regular things of being respectful and being quiet if we can, all that good stuff. But outside of that, just recognizing that this is something that somebody worked on and they've put a lot of time and effort into this, or this is somebody who is really sharing something that is part of them. So just receiving it with grace and again honoring their effort and their practice.
Mm.
So allowing them to shine and let the spotlight in.
That's
So,
that's tough sometimes for other performers to do that. It's a lesson, but I
mhm.
think it teaches humility. It teaches, listening. That's a skill we all need more
Mhm.
of is being able to listen.
Yes, and being someone's audience member is doing them a favor. It's an honor to have somebody give you their time, when you're expressing something musically. That's a very important connection that you're making, even if it's, a stranger, they're still hearing something of you and from you. So It's important. It's really cool.
Okay, so I have one more question for you because
Yes.
I love that. Okay. I've always been interested in mental health. Well, I was at one point, I don't know if you know this, I was thinking about being a music
I think
therapist.
I
So
remember you telling me that. Yes.
I just love it. What do you think the key thing is in maintaining your mental health as a musician?
Key thing in maintaining your health as a
Your
musician,
mental health, yes.
mental health as a musician is make music for yourself.
Oh,
Make music, perform for yourself, enjoy pieces that you play, make music that makes you happy. So, yes, of course, practice your music. Of course, practice your scales, eat your vegetables, practice your technique, but make sure that you are still finding enjoyment in music because it's there for you. Whether it's you might try a different piece, check it out with your teacher and say, hey, this is something interesting that I heard. Could we maybe try this? Or could we try part of this? Or do you have something as my teacher that's similar that we could try? I would just say the most important thing is to make music for you that you enjoy playing or listening to. So, yeah.
that is beautiful. A beautiful answer. I think it's hard to remember sometimes, especially when you become a professional, when you've gone through all the schooling and everything, it's sometimes obligatory. Sometimes it can feel like that for those who have been doing it for a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
so finding it again when, finding yourself again, finding, the music in you again, I think is really, really important. And on that note, I'm just going to put this out there before we go today. And I wanted Jennifer to be here too, because, if she has anything to add to this, that'd be cool. But I have this idea of starting a support group for musicians. We were very, very much affected by COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody was affected, but we were really affected in, our profession and our playing is still, especially for classical music, has not gotten back to what it used to be. I just think our whole world changed. Everything is now much more fast paced. Everything, it's just a different world, especially for classical musicians. And so I would love to start a support group here at the school for professional musicians and musicians who are, doing it for fun. Anybody who wants to come, but maybe for adults initially. So I don't know if it'll be during like a weekday because I know some musicians are not working during the day,
Mm-hmm.
or to be some time during the day on a weekend or something. I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there. If anybody might be interested, please reach out to me at hello@raleightschoolmusic.com. And if Jennifer has anything to add about that, because I've never done a support group before, but I don't know if you have anything you want to say.
Yeah, no, I think that would be really beneficial to share with people who understand. That's what the great thing about a support group is. You don't have to over explain your feelings because everybody gets it. And again, I'm on my soapbox. We have a powerful tool of group processing, which is music. So even in our support groups, we can process things musically together, even if it's sharing a song you're working on or sharing a part that you're struggling with or just singing something that you like for enjoyment. So I think that would be a beautiful thing, is to have a support group.
Thank you for that. I didn't even think about the fact that about maybe having people actually like play a little bit for each other
Yeah,
too. I didn't even think about.
yeah.
Okay, well, that would be cool. I'm open to ideas to anybody, and I think that, yeah, we musicians were always on the forefront of new stuff, and so like being able to add something like this might be a catalyst for other people to
Mhm.
start more support groups or something. I don't know. Anyway, well, thank you guys for listening today. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming on today. If you have any questions for her specifically, let me know. I will pass them on. Have a good one, and I might see you next week. All right. Bye.